Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. This is your weekly reading where we talk all about what is going on in the collective energy, the energy that each and every one of us are feeling right now. I'm sure it's very intense right now, and what you need to know about it so that you can maximize your potential this week so that you can use this energy to your benefit. We are going to break down the messages that I have connected with, the things that I'm feeling in the energy to help you to understand the things that you're feeling in the energy, because I know you guys are feeling this. And then we will build upon the messages with a tarot reading at the end. I've already pre-shuffled my deck, and we will build on those messages and send you guys out of this reading with a comprehensive understanding of what's going on, what you need to know, and how you can make the most of this week. So this is like your energetic weather report. So first of all, say hello if you're watching, whether you're watching live or the replay. Say hello, hit me with an emoji, just say hi, whatever it is that you want to do. Lets me know that you're watching. It lets me know that you're connecting with the videos, and it helps them to reach more people. I feel like communication is a little weird. I'm stumbling on my words already. I felt like that all day. I don't know what's going on. Probably something going on with Mercury today. I don't know, but I very much feel it. And that is the planet of communication. So you may find that speech is a little bit challenging right now, or it's hard for you to put together your thoughts, or it's hard for you to say the things that you need to say. This is, it's a lot that's going on with the energy. We are literally in between two eclipses. So we are in an eclipse portal. We have had the lunar eclipse. We are waiting on this solar eclipse to close out this eclipse portal that's going to be coming in this week on the 21st. So know that that's happening. I think is that Sunday? I think it's Sunday. So know that that's happening. Know that as we get closer and closer to that eclipse, it is going to feel like there is a buildup, that we are building up to some kind of a climax with this energy. And it's a lot. And you might feel overwhelmed. You might feel anxious. You might feel like something's building, but you don't know what. And so that might feel uncomfortable for you. But what I try to remind everyone of, and I try to remind myself of this too, is that everything that happens through this eclipse season is part of a bigger plan. It's part of God's plan for us to get us onto our highest path, our best path, because we have a lot of options. We have a lot of things that we can be doing with our time and our energy here on Earth. We have free will to make those decisions, but eclipse season comes in and it says, you know what? Here's where you could be doing better. Here's how you can be a better version of yourself. Here's how your choices will better match the best case scenario here for this life for you. And so you may find that there's a lot of WTF moments that are happening right now. There's a lot of curveballs. There's a lot of surprises. I feel like there's a lot that's coming to the surface, like unexpected things that we maybe felt like we had dealt with, or things that we're surprised that we're feeling emotional about, or that we're having a hard time, or just even things that we're surprised that we're reflecting on and processing again. Because it is kind of this looking back kind of energy. We're in an energy where we're working on resolving the things that are unresolved. We're working on finishing unfinished business. And so, lucky us, we have a lot of our unfinished business that is coming to the surface this week. But this is a gift, because this is an opportunity for us to bring resolution to things that maybe have never had resolution, or to close out cycles that we know don't belong in this next chapter that we're moving into. So there's a lot that's coming to the surface to give us this opportunity to work on some things, to change some things, to shift things. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. This week, probably going to be intense. There's probably going to be a lot of challenging things that come to the surface. I've been talking about tests from the universe the past couple of weeks. We've been getting a lot of tests from the universe. This week is your final exam. So I want you to recognize it when that final exam comes in. It will be something that is probably a pattern that you have repeated, or it may even be like an old way that you're feeling like you are tempted to fall back into. And I want you to remind yourself, I don't do that anymore. You left that behind a long time ago, but you may need to say that to yourself. You may need to remind yourself of that. But when you feel that little, it's almost like this itch to fall back into something that you know isn't good for you, that you know isn't helpful for you. And I want you to stand strong in your truth and remind yourself that you don't do that anymore. Redirect it. Don't fall into the trap, because I think that there are a lot of traps that are being set up for this week. Because what the universe is looking for is, have you learned your lesson yet? Do you understand what you need to understand in order to become a better version of yourself? So we want to be asking ourselves those questions. Why is this showing up in my experience? What do I need to do differently? How do I break the pattern? What do I need to release? What do I need to let go of? And one thing I know for damn sure that we need to be letting go of is control. Let it go. Release your control. This is not a time to hold on really tightly or try to control anything, because this energy is just kind of, it does whatever it wants. It's doing what it needs in order to get us to where we need to be. And so if you are trying to swim against the current rather than go with the flow, you are going to be exhausted. And I don't think that you're going to get what you want. They say not to do any kind of intentional manifestation when you are in an eclipse portal. And while I am somebody who is very intentional every single day of my life, this is something that I subscribe to. And by extension, I subscribe to the idea that we don't want to try to force anything or push anything in this energy. And here's why. Because what happens in this energy is when you try to force something, it's kind of like when, like we've all seen those movies where there's a genie in it, right? And you're granted 3 wishes. And when that person makes those wishes, usually they end up wasting their wishes in some way, shape, or form, or not getting exactly what they're looking for, because they will make the wish and the genie will technically grant their wish, but it's not exactly what they had in mind. It's not, it shows up in a way that's a little bit different than what the real intention was. And that's kind of the vibe in this energy. So I want you to keep that in mind and not try to force anything. This is a time to let yourself be shown where the energy is going, what is best for you. And I get it. It's very frustrating. It's very exhausting, especially because I think a lot of things are falling apart right now. And so you may be in that position where you feel like so much is falling apart, or so many things are not coming together the way that I want them to come together. I want you to trust and know that on the other side of this, things are going to come together in a way that's for your highest and best good. And so let what wants to fall away, fall away. Let what wants to fall apart, fall apart. And I want you to lean in to where the flow is going, what you're feeling pulled to, what you now understand. I feel like we've had a lot of clarity coming forward during this eclipse. It is a life-changing time for all of us. And we're getting a lot of clarity. We're understanding a lot of things. And so we want to flow with where that clarity is leading us. We want to lean in with faith and trust, where we feel pulled, where we feel drawn, where we feel excited, where we feel passionate. And we want to allow the rest to crumble and fall away if that's what's happening. It's all happening to bring resolution in some way, shape, or form. So you may find you've been seeking a resolution for something for so long, and this week or over the course of the next few weeks, that resolution comes in and it becomes clear. And a lot of it is going to just happen for us, but also I want you to pay attention to, where am I feeling called to take action? Where am I feeling called to do something? to make a change, to have a conversation, to take a risk, to take a leap of faith, because it's also moving us into this new chapter and where we need to be. I also very strongly am feeling that things are being mirrored for us right now. So what I mean by that, and this is annoying, very annoying. I had my own experience with this just this week, just today, actually, to look at what is being mirrored at you, because as you look at what is being mirrored for you, it is showing you something within yourself that you need to work on. And again, that's really annoying because it's very easy to stay focused on the people that are mirroring it back to us. So, for example, one of the things that came up for me lately and just today is there are situations that are happening where I feel as though my time is being disrespected. And if there is one thing that really makes me angry is when I feel like someone is wasting my time. That doesn't sit well with me, right? And so I've had a lot of experiences lately with that where I'm like, geez, I really feel like my time is being disrespected. And so I had to ask myself today, because this message came through, okay, so how am I disrespecting my own time? And when I tell you the nuggets of information that came just from that question and the awareness that I now have of some important shifts that I need to make. So there is gold in that if you are willing to dive into that, if you're willing to take a look at that, because we do want to be looking at ourselves. We do want to be looking at changes that we need to be making. There's a lot of old stuff resurfacing, but the whole point of this is to take what is unfinished business and to finish it. And so you may need to have a finishing conversation. You may need to close something out. You may need to take an action that says, we're leaving this behind in the eclipse portal. I'm not taking this with me into the next chapter. And doesn't feel good to walk into a new chapter lighter, more clear, better about where things are going. I also feel like it is okay to put some things on hold if you're like, I can't do this right now. This is too much right now. So some things may need to get put on hold until you have a little bit more clarity or until you get that inspiration to take an action or you have a better understanding of it. I think there's a lot of uncomfortable truths that are coming to the surface. You may already find that. They may be uncomfortable truths about ourselves, uncomfortable truths that people present to us about our lives, about other people, whatever that is. And your job is to not just push it away just because it's an uncomfortable truth. Your job is to be brave enough, and this is hard work. This is deep soul, deep shadow work, right? Your job is to be willing to take a look at that and ask yourself, is there any truth to this uncomfortable truth? Is there something I need to give more attention to? Do I need to ask more questions? Do I need to explore this a little bit more? Do I need to open to this truth? And some of the truths may simply give you the information that you need to make a change, respond accordingly, whatever. But let it inspire you to ask questions about yourself, about the world, about what you need to understand. I think that there's a lot of hanged man energy this week. We'll see if the hanged man comes out in the tarot, but a lot of hanged man energy where it's just like, can we explore this from a lot of different perspectives and see what comes through and see how we might see this in a different way and how that may serve us better as we move forward into a new chapter. I also got that our strength is going to be tested. If you didn't pick up on that already, okay? So our strength may be tested, meaning that we may have to dig deep. We may have to do uncomfortable things. We may need to have uncomfortable conversations to hear uncomfortable truths, to close out cycles that are not easy for us to close out, to deal with and navigate curveballs and the unexpected and those WTF moments where we're like, I don't know. Right. But we need to pull from that strength that has been developing within us for quite some time, especially in regard to when you recognize yourself getting prepared to fall into old ways. Again, do not go backwards. This is all about forward movement. This is all about I'm moving forward. Who belongs in my life to move forward with me, and who and what does not. And so we want to make sure that we're being mindful of that. So again, if you catch yourself with that, remind yourself that you don't do that anymore. I think that the blessings this week, the magic this week, is that we are in a place where we can grow so much, that we can level up so much, that we can finally close out some things that we've been needing to close out for quite some time in order to usher us into this new chapter, surrounded by the people, places, and things that we're meant to be surrounded by. So if there are those things that are showing up for you, those things that just are magnetized to you, those things that you just feel drawn to, that you feel magnetized toward, those are the things to focus on. Those are the things to nurture and grow. You want to pay attention to, what am I nurturing in order to support it further as we move into this next chapter. Okay, so those are the channeled messages and a little bit about the astrology. Let's pull the cards. I've already pre-shuffled the deck. I will pull the cards. I will tell you what they are, and then we will go back through and I will give you a reading as to what the cards mean. First card out of the deck, the Empress. We are blessed. There is gold in all of this that we're doing. I don't know if I said this, but I also wrote down to stop overgiving. Okay. Overgiving is a form of control. And I want you to think about that. So many of us are empaths and healers and helpers, and we can be very guilty of overgiving, of rescuing, all of that. But I want you to take that energy. I want you to pour it into yourself this week. The Hermit. Pour it into yourself. That's the Hermit. The World. Closing out cycles. The 10 of Cups. This is magical. I love this so much. Okay. The Devil, releasing things that don't serve us, not falling back into old patterns. And the High Priestess, listening to our intuition. Okay, let's dive in. So the Empress, my favorite card in the tarot deck. Allowing what wants to flow into our experience to flow to us. We are also giving birth to something really wonderful, a really wonderful time in our life. I want you to pay attention. The Empress is a nurturer. So I want you to pay attention to, what am I feeling called to nurture? And also, let's talk about this like we're talking about a garden, right? So what are you feeling called to water? What are you feeling called to give sunlight to? And what do you need to let die? What do you need to let go of? What is no longer going to function properly or be a good fit within this garden that you are creating? The Empress has a really beautiful harvest. She has an amazing garden. But that comes through this process of trial and error of seeing what works for her and what doesn't. But the Empress does not stick around for what doesn't work for her. She knows her worth. She knows her value. And she lets the blessing show up for her. So some of this is not about forcing. This is about flow. And this is about allowing the blessings to flow to us. We also see that here with this High Priestess, allowing the blessings to flow to us, trusting our intuition, trusting that knowing that we have, that something better is coming, that things are developing, that things are happening for us behind the scenes. I said last week, this energy is very moon card in the tarot, like, meaning that there's a lot that's happening behind the scenes. There's a lot that we don't see, that we don't feel right now. And I think on the other side of this eclipse, we'll be like, oh, that's why that happened. Now, this energy might be playing out the next 6 months or so, right? But I think over the next few weeks, we're definitely going to have a better sense of it. And you're feeling it already. Like, as much as we may feel panicked or overwhelmed or like, what the fuck in this energy, we also on some level can feel, okay, this is happening for us. This is happening for our better good. I mean, even just look at what's happening in the collective, right? Not just personally, but what's happening in the collective. There's been a lot of shakeups lately. And what is it doing for us? It's making us ask questions. It's making us look at, how do I need to approach this better? Hopefully it's making us ask, how do I connect with other people more? How do I support my neighbor, my fellow man? How do I love more? And it's hopefully ushering us into that time. That is the whole point, is it's meant to make us look at our structures, our systems, and our connections, and to love each other harder, to support each other harder. And we want to make sure that we're not allowing this energy and these things that are happening to divide us, because we're missing the point. And so I'm watching some really beautiful things happen. I'm watching some very concerning things happen, but I'm also watching some really beautiful things happen. And I know that it's all for the bigger picture. And so if we take this and we apply this to our own personal lives, we know that some things might not look so great. Some things might feel like, okay, yeah, that's maybe moving in a better direction. And so we want to just trust that, and trust in the big picture, trust in God's vision that he has for us. The Hermit card, we might need to take some time for some extra self-care. This energy is no joke. This is absolutely life-altering stuff that is happening right now. And so you might not be as available for everyone to overgive or to rescue or to take care of everything, right? You've got to make sure that you're filling your own cup. You've got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And so it's okay to pull your energy back. That doesn't mean we can't be a support. That doesn't mean that we can't offer words of support, but this is about overgiving. We can still give, but just make sure you're not overgiving, and make sure that you're honoring that need to pull your energy back and rebalance and listen to yourself and listen to your messages. Where you are going to hear your intuition that is telling you that everything is going to be okay, that this is all happening in your favor, and that is showing you the steps that you need to take, is through this Hermit energy, is through taking time where you're listening to yourself. Maybe you're doing something that involves silence. You're meditating, you're laying there just listening to yourself. You're going for walks, you're driving in your car in silence, whatever that is that helps you to listen to yourself. That is so key and so important this week. And then we have the world. Okay, the world is, number one, us recognizing how far we've come, how much we've progressed. And I want you to give that to yourself. I want you to recognize that for yourself this week. But it's also about the completion of cycles. We are not going backwards. And we also need to make sure that we're moving forward. We need to close out what needs to be closed out. We need to let the universe close some things out for us that are probably overdue. And to allow that process. And you're going to recognize that. I think that willingness to let go, that willingness to close it out, I think we're going to be celebrating ourselves. I think we're going to be grateful for ourselves in the not too distant future for allowing that. Because where we're going is the 10 of Cups. This is happiness. This is happy relationships, happy connections. But if we don't make space for that, or if we don't be intentional in how we're connecting, we're not going to be allowing this. And so maybe there are some things with connections we've been ignoring or setting aside or not talking about, or, you know, even within our families, family meetings that we need to have, family conversations, what's been kind of put on the back burner. I think it's going to be put on the front burner this week. And it's like, okay, I've got to deal with this. I've got to address this. This has to be addressed. Why does it have to be addressed? Because it's interfering with your happiness. It's interfering with your progress. And as you take these actions, it's going to take you where you need to be. I had a session earlier where somebody was like, oh, this is kind of a hard step for me. I don't know that I want to have this conversation. But she did it. She did it right after the session and it went really well. That's kind of the vibe. Like, you might be hesitant, but it's like, it also needs to happen. And I think we're recognizing that it's bubbling to the surface and it needs to happen. This could be telling someone something really positive. These don't have to be hard conversations. This could be sharing what's on your heart, telling someone you love them, telling someone that you support them, telling somebody that you're here for them. It can be things like that as well. It can be reaching out to somebody that you've been thinking about, but you keep forgetting to reach out to, you keep forgetting to connect with. Prakash is saying, how do I know what to let go and close out? Prakash, you'll know. You will know. You're being shown. And so I would just pay attention to what's being mirrored around you. I would pay attention to what is seeming to fall apart. I would pay attention to where you're frustrated, where you're angry. You'll know. You'll know. And if that's not coming to the surface for you, maybe you've already cleared the things that you need to clear out. And this is about setting intentions for your next chapter. So paying attention to that as well, and noticing, because it's as important for us to notice where we're going as it is to notice what we're leaving behind. Just naturally follow the flow. There is such a natural flow if you allow it. And it's showing us exactly what needs to happen. The people that you're meant to be surrounded by, it'll just flow naturally. You'll just feel happy and comfortable, and it'll feel good right now. And those are the people that you're meant to flow into this next chapter with, or those are the experiences that you're having. They'll kind of just feel like, they might not be exactly what you want or exactly what you're looking for, but there'll be a flow to it. So hopefully that makes sense, Prakash. Let me know. Next card, very important card. I have to cover up the naked people for YouTube. The devil. The devil is about setting yourself free. Where are you keeping yourself stuck, chained? Where are your habits not serving you? As I said, what is being mirrored back to you? I had to take a look at today. I was frustrated with feeling like people were disrespecting my time. And then I realized I'm disrespecting my own time. So that's my devil card. That's where I need to take a look at, how can I be better with my time? How can I respect myself better with that? What do I need to do with that? So asking yourselves the hard questions. What needs to be different? Where do I need to bring resolution to something? And sometimes that resolution is a willingness to let go, is a willingness to release your grip. Because sometimes that devil card is like, I'm trying to control it. I'm trying to hold on too much. Where do you need to let go of something that you've decided, I don't do that anymore? I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be that way anymore. I don't want to show up in this world like that anymore. We get to make powerful decisions this week that will change the entire course of our lives if we allow it, for the better. You already know what you need to change. You already know what you need to let go of. And if you don't, I promise you, it will be shouting at you loud and clear this week. Be willing. Your instinct is going to go, well, that person did that. And you're going to want to be pissed off at that person or irritated with that person. Redirect it back to you. You can still be pissed off at that person, right? And you might need to make some changes with that, but redirect that back to you and ask yourself, what do I need to change? How do I need to show up differently? Where do I need to set boundaries? What do I need to do differently to close out this cycle, to set myself free, and to completely empower myself so that I can be living my happiest, most joyful life, so I can be experiencing my happiest, most fulfilling relationships, connections, experiences of my life. This is a portal into something better if we choose it. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is showing you. And if you don't know, again, take that time to go within, to listen, to pay attention, to really reflect. I want you at the end of your day this week to reflect on your day and say, what happened today? What was I shown today? What was I shown about myself? What was I shown about how I can do better? What was I shown about other people? What was I shown about experiences? What was I shown about changes that need to be made? There is gold there for you. So I'm sending you so much light as you're navigating this. It's going to get a little more angsty, a little bit more uncomfortable, probably kind of skin crawly as we get closer to those eclipses. If you're not already feeling that now, or closer to that eclipse on the 21st. So know that, get yourself grounded, get out, get your feet on the earth, do some breath work, do some things to balance yourself, whatever works for you, but taking care of yourself. We're going to get through this. We're going to get to the other side. And remember, this is all about bringing us into something better. This is all about setting us up on the path that is the best, most joyful, most successful, amazing path for us. So hang in there. This too shall pass, whatever is challenging right now. And it is ushering us into something really beautiful. So I would love to hear what is happening for you, what is beautiful for you, what you see developing for you, what you feel developing for you, or anything that you want to share in the comments. I'd love to hear if you're feeling some different things in this energy. Share it because it probably will resonate with somebody else. Let me know. There are people who need to hear these messages. So please share these messages. I know that some of you were thinking about somebody in your life while you were listening to this, like this person needs to hear it. Please share this with them. Please like this video. Please tag them below, whatever you want to do. But all of it helps to support the channel and it helps these messages to get where they need to be. And these messages this week are hella important. Does anyone even say hella anymore? I don't think so, but I just said it. So I'm sending you love. I am sending you light as you navigate this week. We've got this. We can do this. And remember to come back to finding wonder, finding magic in everything that's happening for you. I love you all. I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.